Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much to our witnesses for being here and for continuing to show heroism and commitment to our Constitution and to this wonderful building that we call our workspace. You have been through 650 witnesses, and very few of those have failed to do the right thing when called to testify. That is a good thing. You are here today for the fourth time for those bad apples that refuse to do the right thing and come before the committee and testify, or plead the fifth if they feel compelled because they were too close, too culpable. Most Americans were horrified by the events of January 6th and the blatant and criminal attempt to overturn the results of a free and fair election. I wonder how my colleagues on the other side of the aisle would feel if instead of red hats and red shirts, there would have been blue shirts and blue hats after President Trump was elected. Let me tell you, there were thousands of pink hats that descended on DC. And I was one of those people out there. Outraged that the man that we had just elected had no issue with grabbing women by the P word and had sexually assaulted so many women before that. But we demonstrated peacefully as Americans under one flag. We stood together and we complained about how bad the election was and about the long lines and about the many polling places that were shut down, completely shut down, in an attempt to prevent people that look like me and like you, Chairman Thompson, from voting. And they succeeded. But we did not come to this Capitol and assaulted you or our law enforcement officers. Instead, I put on my best dress and a smile, and I went to the inauguration because it was the right thing to do, because it was more important for us to stand as Americans and witness a peaceful transfer of power, like it or not. I want my vote to matter every time I go to the polling place, whether I'm on the ballot or not. But I want your vote to matter too, no matter how you look, whether you're a naturalized citizen like me, or you are citizen by birth, like many of you in here. You deserve to have your vote counted. You deserve to be able to cast your ballot. But here we are, once again. Some pretending that they are patriots. It is so offensive to me that you would pretend to be patriots and refuse to defend our Constitution because you're a sore loser. Because Americans were fed up with the guy that you put forward as your best choice for president. Americans were fed up with the hatred against every person of color. Americans were fed up with the nonsense and Americans voted. And no matter how many polling places you closed, no matter how many hours they waited, they voted by the thousands. How can you call yourself a patriot because you support one man? But how do you ignore the fact that you are an American and that as an American, your job is to defend our Constitution? It is like the best example that I can give, it is like voting against my colleague's marijuana bill, but yet boasting about attending an orgy and witnessing colleagues using cocaine and failing to report that to ethics, even though you know that it is illegal and that it could be a violation of not only ethics, but the fact that that person using those drugs can compromise information that is made available to those members. How do you call yourself a patriot when you vote for that and support the other? I am an American by choice, and I am very proud to be here today among so many heroes in the press, across the table from me. And I hope that we could identify more heroes to stand up for our nation, because we're in a very, very fragile state right now. With Russia and Ukraine, with so many dictators around the world, it's time to choose our country, our flag, and our Constitution. I support this measure. Thank you for bringing it before us. I support the work of the committee. And again, if there's anything that I can do to help you, please reach out to us.